All right, in 3, 2, 1.
This is the podcast.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
And we are... You know what? Let me start with this. I know we just talked about it. You guys need to watch Rampage.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for
I want to see
being
it.
a friend.
Yeah.
What?
You know, a lot of...
Travel down
not
the
Golden
road and
Girls.
back
What is
again.
the movie?
Your heart is true.
What the fuck is
You're
he
a
doing?
pal and a
Confidant.
confidant. And if
What the
you
fuck
do
is-
a
what does that have to
party,
do with Rampage?
Nobody
invited
knows.
everyone you knew.
Nick's
What is
having-
wrong?
You
He's
would
having a
see
mental breakdown.
The biggest gift would be from me.
Did he
and
get
the
attacked?
card attached would say, "Thank you for being
Let's
a
just
friend."
let it run out.
I have literally been watching that show like every day. I love the Golden Girls. The whole series is on
Didn't
Hulu.
They just brought it back like not too long ago.
Oh, it is
It's on Hulu.
That's right.
It's a
You-
whole series.
You told me a while back that Cheers was on there, and then after I finished like the last few episodes of Cheers,
Yep.
it was like watch Golden Girls,
Oh,
and it
man.
started. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this show.
Yeah, those are the two shows I jump between. Golden Girls is whip smart, and it's
It
so
is.
funny because I shouldn't identify with that show. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like to be an
Maybe you
elderly,
should.
a geriatric, an older woman.
It's a sad premise.
in Florida.
though. It's like all these divorcees living together.
or dead husbands, widows.
Yeah, and they like basically don't make enough money to live on their own, so they're living together to support each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is like a very genuine feeling type show. That,
It's-
like,
you
I
know
feel like
what I
people
saw
can
I know
the other
there's
day,
good
flipping the
emotion in
channel?
it, but they're
Yeah.
also just
Huh?
like the jokes.
You know what I saw
are
flipping the channel the
perfect.
other day?
Perfect.
And I
written.
felt like old as hell.
What?
Three's Company.
Oh, I love Three's Company.
ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you.
What is
Three's
happening?
Company too.
I feel like this has nothing to do with what
Welcome
we're talking
to the
about.
Old Timers Podcast.
Wait, what's the
No.
Cheers theme song now? Now we got at least.
Oh.
2 and 3.
They're gonna play some
Making our way to the girl today. Takes everything you got. If you want to go to a place, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Oh my gosh.
Do. And they're always glad you can.
I literally at this point have forgotten.
You want to be
Yeah, I
where
don't
you
even know.
Why
can
are we
see.
here?
People are all
This
the
is so
same.
non sequitur.
You want to go
Yeah, this is
where
Nick. I
everybody
blame Nick.
knows your name.
You guys say I derail. He's a derail.
My
today.
God.
No, he just gets into himself.
Get to the 80s sitcoms, right?
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right. So what's up today? What
about
are we
Taxi?
talking about? What are we doing?
Well, here,
What about Taxi Cab?
yeah, we're
Is it
doing
just Taxi?
what?
The
What?
TV
Taxi.
No, don't lead him.
Taxi,
don't
yeah.
don't fucking say that. Oh, this is Nick. This
There
is
was a
Nick. Why
movie
are you
called
leading
Taxi
him?
Cab, but yeah, there's a Taxi.
Yeah, Taxi
Taxi
Cab.
with
I forget how the
He's
music
like the
that
whisperer
goes.
in your
Conway,
ear.
Tony
It's naming
Danza,
all these
Danny
80s
DeVito.
shows.
Oh yeah, remember Dear John?
Judd Hirsch.
Did you guys ever watch Dear John?
No, I never watched
He did
that.
one
Keep
season.
going.
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry.
And then talk about him going into these.
all right.
Yeah.
It was like Judd Hirsch or whatever played.
This is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside
that's
down, and I'd like to
90s.
take a minute, but no, it was 1990. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So we're
I'll tell
definitely
you how
not
I
talking
became the prince
about.
of a town called Bel Air
There we go.
in West
North
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
North Philadelphia.
I just want to apologize to everyone
Just-
about this. Well,
All
it's,
right,
it's
I'm
not
done.
bad because it's 80s theme songs.
I know,
and
it's
they're
making you
awesome.
happy.
So it's kind of like it's hard for me to tell him to stop.
I know, it's making you happy.
Yeah, it is.
It is,
literally
I
is.
know.
I love 80s theme songs.
Sometimes
so.
I'll just play, you can go on Spotify and
Oh,
find
yeah.
all these theme songs. I'll just play like a bunch of theme songs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And sometimes I'll even go to like the 80s cartoons like DuckTales and stuff.
Woo! Dun,
DuckTales.
dun, dun, dun. See that? You got me going.
DuckTales.
All right, so let's get to the topic.
Tailspin.
Tailspin.
There's airplane.
Yeah,
Spin it when you spin it.
It's,
Spin it.
DuckTales.
Tailspin.
Might solve
remember
a
the giant,
mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Woo!
Wait, weren't they making a new DuckTales? or a
Yeah, it's
movie?
out. It's out. Yeah,
is it
it's
out?
on like Disney XD. or something
Darkwing
like that,
Duck.
yeah. They actually gave the Huey, Dewey, and Louie like different
Duck.
What was the
Personalities.
robot's name?
in
DuckTales.
DuckTales. You mean the which one? Which robot?
The main robot, the guy who got turned into like this RoboCop.
There was like a few episodes with that one. That's
No,
not,
he got his own cartoon also. I forgot what.
Did he?
No.
Yeah. He did.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anywho. All right, so
Oh, Chip and Chill.
No, Chippendale's Rescue Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Who did those like jingles? Those are jingles that are like.
You know who wrote
hypnotic.
the Ninja Turtles one?
What?
What's his name?
Teenage
Chuck Lorre, the guy who
Ninja
created like Two and a Half
Turtles.
Men and a bunch of other shows.
Yeah.
He wrote the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme
Jingle?
song.
Wow.
Yeah. What has it?
I could call him Jingle.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team.
I like all this information is just sitting there dormant.
this is like literally
We're gonna.
off the topic so much.
We have the power.
Like
okay?
the first thing that's coming into my mind is not the topic that we have to talk about, but it's the
TURTL
new Dumbo
power.
trailer.
Do you guys remember Thundercats?
I
that's
never
my
really
favorite.
watched this.
That's my jam.
Oh, you don't
Never
remember?
really
I remember
watched
things
that.
That's my
like
jam.
that.
I've
Yeah.
always watched Saturday mornings. You had Thundercats, you had Gem, you had G.I.
Oh, Gem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They made a movie
yeah.
of that in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it really sucked.
Do you remember the G.I. Joe movie?
I'm still hoping
Cartoon?
for... Yeah.
The cartoon
Yeah,
movie? Yeah, it was
yeah.
like aliens and shit. It was
Yep.
crazy.
That's a
There was a-
Transformers movie too.
There was a Thundercats
I don't know if I
film,
ever saw
but
the
it was a B
Transformers
film.
animated one.
It was B.
It was a B film. It was so horrible.
Really.
I'm still hoping that they do one, so...
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All right,
this has
so
been great, guys.
What were we talking about?
I'm trying to
you for
figure out, like, while we're talking about this, I'm trying to figure out how do we segue this into Tom Cruise's
Easy.
filmography.
Tom Cruise hasn't done any animated films, has he?
No, he
No,
actually
no,
hasn't.
yes,
No,
Wow.
that's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But let's see. He was in. Let's figure out a way to do it. He really never did any TV either.
No.
He's not a TV guy. I've listened to some interviews with him
Commercials?
recently where people are like, "Are you looking to do any TV shows?" He's like, "No." He's like big on. He's actually similar to me in that way. I mean, I like TV probably more than he does, but he's just not big on TV or video games. There's
He's a
two
film.
things. He just like those are on the side. He's so big on film. Like
Yeah.
movies
Yeah.
are his medium, and he doesn't have any interest in kind of going elsewhere to tell stories.
Correct, yeah.
And he doesn't really need to either. Like he's kind of dominated the movie landscape.
Yeah.
But anyways, today we're gonna do in honor of Mission Impossible 6. It's so crazy. Mission Impossible Fallout. We're gonna talk about the career of Tom Cruise. We're gonna kind of go through his movies, his chronology of movies, his filmography, and kind of just discuss like where he's come. I mean, he started really early on, and obviously he did. I guess we could start it off with Taps.
Yeah.
You guys remember that movie Taps?
Oh, yes.
He's so, like he's
I don't think
so
I ever saw that.
You never saw that? It's like
No.
these kids in
It's about tap dancing?
Yes, that's exactly right. No,
Is it?
No, that's Tap with Gregory Hines.
Oh, yeah, I did
There's a
see
movie
that.
Tap.
I like Tap.
I like Tap too. This
Yeah.
is Taps
Taps.
with an S. Like
It's
Taps
like,
like on a
like
trumpet.
where he's like a government.
no,
or
they're
military?
they're military like school.
Maybe I have seen this.
Yeah, and you probably even seen the clip of him going, "It's fucking beautiful, man, fucking beautiful," when he's shooting that big fucking gun out the window. He's like a really overly zealous military kid. He's kind of a little
This
nuts.
is his first film?
This is his first film.
Oh,
They-
wow.
I mean, he might have some like random thing on IMDb, but nobody really thinks of it. Oh yeah, Endless Love. He probably had some. Yeah, he's not even in the first 20 credits of that film. So, no, what's considered his first film is Taps.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it was amazing.
I think Timothy Hutton's in that. Sean Penn's in that movie. George C. Scott, Timothy Hutton, Ronnie Cox. Anyways, it's a great film. It says military cadets take extreme measures to ensure the future of their academy when its existence is threatened by local condo developers. So they're basically encroaching. It sounds ridiculous by saying it that way, but it's a really good film. It's dramatic. It's crazy. That's good. That was his first film.
Yeah.
But a lot of people might remember this movie. The next one he did, which he had a bit part in, but he's definitely memorable in that one too, is just The Outsiders.
Oh, yeah.
Just Francis Ford Coppola's film The Outsiders,
Yeah.
which has an all-star cast. I mean, you got C. Thomas Howell, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez.
I feel like they made us watch that in
Matt
school.
Dillon, Ralph Macchio. Yeah.
In public school,
Thomas
like
Howell.
you had to read the book and then we watched the film.
That's right. It's a book. Exactly. It's basically about these greasers back in the day.
Greasers.
They're greasers, and they even call them greasers kind of
Yeah.
in the film. And he plays one of the greasers.
Yep.
You know, Tom Cruise does. He's young.
The
he's kinda got
Outsiders.
Yeah, they're the Outsiders. He's like 18 years old in this movie. And interestingly enough, I know he talks about how he was so excited to be in that movie. He was so excited, brought like family to the premiere or whatever. He shows up and he found they cut his part down like severely. He's barely in the movie, you know,
Oh.
from what he filmed. And he
Yeah.
was like completely crushed and heartbroken.
Oh,
going
when he
into
saw
that
the
thing.
actual
When
release.
he went to the
Okay.
premiere. and I think it was him and somebody else, not Emilio Estevez, somebody else. Anyways, they just got their parts just kind of like slashed.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy shit.
That's got to be interesting as an actor to, to put potentially put like a lot of effort and energy and into a film and then have no creative control and then go to the premiere and see that like all that one scene that you felt really proud about that the director was like, that's shit.
Here it is. I'm coming up. I'm coming on screen. Here you go. What?
That's a real thing. That's a real thing where you're like, oh my God, I booked this movie. This is amazing. And then you find out all of your scenes were deleted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got paid and everything and you left or whatever.
But that's not what you're going for. You're going for a career, right?
Yeah, you're like, I remember watching or listening to the commentary on The Mummy, directed by Stephen Sommers. And there's this scene in the film where there's this older guy who's like a former pilot or something, like British pilot or something like that.
Yeah.
He ends up flying him in a plane towards the end of the film. Well, apparently at the premiere, somebody like misspliced the film reels, and so all that guy's scenes got like cut out.
Oh
so
my God!
So he thought the actor's there at the premiere, and he was like destroyed because he thought all of his stuff had got cut out. And he was like 100 years old or something, like the actor. And then Stephen Sommers was like, no, your scenes are in the movie. Like we loved your stuff. Like we didn't cut it out. They just fucked up in the booth or whatever. And the guy was like, why did you cut my stuff?
Oh,
or I was like gonna cry.
That's horrible.
Heart-wrenching.
I was like,
but what's been great about DVDs and so on and Blu-rays is that there's been extras, so they have deleted scenes and they live on, whereas back in the day they didn't live on, they were gone, right?
Yeah.
So then when DVDs came out, even they would find deleted scenes of old films from back in the day and they would put them in the DVD extras. But now that DVDs and Blu-rays are going out, where do extras go? Where does all this stuff go? Like, it isn't around. It's not being attached to anything. You don't stream extras.
Well, they still release almost everything now. I mean, some content is exclusively released online, but a lot of it's like even online stuff.
No, but I'm saying you used to be able to you'll watch the movie on DVD and just go to the main menu and go to the extras. Where does that exist?
No, you're
now?
talking about with streaming?
Yeah, I'm just saying most people watch their movie streaming. That's what I'm saying. All of that's getting lost now.
But I still buy. If there's a movie that I like want to know about behind the scenes, I'll buy the.
In 10 years, you won't be though. They're not going to be releasing them anymore. That's what I'm saying.
They do.
Fucking
they
Netflix.
do a digital version of it.
I'm saying in 10
Of
years,
the extras?
you're not going to be buying DVDs.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're talking about DVDs. Okay, I thought you were talking about the
I'm
extras.
talking about if you rent a movie, sometimes you can rent the extras, or you buy a movie digitally, you can still get extras and stuff like that. I'm just saying it used to be simple. You have a DVD, you go to the main menu after you're done watching the movie, and you just go to the bonus features, special features, extras.
That was one of the main perks of DVD.
I loved it. I loved it. When they came out, I was like, this is what I've always wanted.
I was so pissed. Last night, my wife and she wanted to watch Paddington 2. So we rented Paddington 2.
Yeah.
We rented the Blu-ray from Redbox.
No features.
There was no freaking features. I'm like, what the hell?
They don't allow you. Like when you do Redbox, especially, they're like promotional copies of them. They're these copies that are stripped down. They will say these special features not available on this rental copy.
That's horrible.
And you can't. I know.
Wow.
It's like
no wonder
because you're only getting it for like $1.
No wonder I don't like you, Redbox.
They want you to buy like the some incentive to buy the actual.
I guess so.
Okay, so
they just don't have the rights to it.
The
or
shit's
something
so
like that.
cheap now. And it costs like pennies still to make these goddamn discs.
Yeah.
I think they just really should.
I think Prime does have some of those extras.
Yeah,
they had that
you
Prime
rent
Day
it.
recently. I was like this close. I didn't pop, but I was like this close. I was like, do I need this? No, I don't need this. It was the James Bond re-release,
Wow.
like all 24 films, including the off films or whatever, the
Never
films
Say
that
Never
aren't part of
Again.
the original. Apparently, there's that, and then
Casino Royale, the original.
Casino Royale are
Yeah.
not considered like whatever canon.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
But so there was a lawsuit. Anyway, I just found out all of this shit after we did our podcast. There's a lawsuit against MGM by some woman who bought the Bond collection on Blu-ray, and she's like, "Where are these 2 other films that are Bond films?" And then because it said all films included, and it didn't have those 2, so she sued, and then it became a class action lawsuit, and they lost. MGM lost.
What?
And then
That's
They have to
crazy.
like literally pay out like $100 million or whatever. That's going to be sent to all the people that file a claim saying they bought this Blu-ray package that didn't include these 2 films.
ridiculous.
That's
They on Prime they had it for like $60. You got all 24 films for $60.
Wow.
And I was like, should I buy this? Do I need this in my life?
I bought one thing on Prime Day. I bought Blade Runner Final Cut on Blu-ray.
Did you get the 4K? Because all the 4K
Yeah.
shit was like on sale.
Yeah.
I was very close
it's
to
cheap.
buying some of the 4K stuff, but then I was like, I don't have a 4K
I skipped
TV or
Prime Day.
projector. Oh, you
You
do.
did?
You have
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I like when I buy my
skipped it?
Yeah, I did. When I buy digital stuff, I go to Vudu.
I bought an inflatable boat.
Did you?
I almost did.
Shut up.
I was like this close.
I was this close to buying inflatable, dude.
What are those things called? The
pedal boats?
No.
Wave runners or
No,
jet
no,
skis?
no. It's like a canoe. Like it was an
canoe.
inflatable
Oh, wow.
canoe.
Is
And
that-
I was
is
like,
that you
looks
rowing?
badass. Yeah, that's me rowing.
Those movements you're making with your arms are rowing. That looks like you're on a wave runner or a jet ski.
It does.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
I'm
not
like
they're
holding the
not,
stick.
Yeah. They're like even. Oh, you're doing one. You're doing one oar.
Yeah,
like
there's
a
one.
kayak.
Yeah,
You're doing a kayak.
kayak. That's what it is.
Kayak.
God
Oh, okay.
damn it.
Hanky, that's
Canoes
why you're
ca-
doing that.
It's a kayak.
I was like, why are
canoe.
your fists like even with each other?
This guy.
That's not how you
Anyway,
do it.
they had
Get your expressions
they had
right.
an inflatable when it was like 70% off.
I
I had
was
like all
this
these awesome
close to
reviews.
buying
I was
a
like,
big-
do I need this? Like, when the hell am I going to use
close
this?
to buying a big inflatable canoe, like
Yeah.
that fucking close, because we have the lake right behind our house now.
Oh yeah, you guys can actually
Yes.
go out on it.
Yes.
You should have bought it.
You don't have any place to go.
I know.
So you
I would
should
go on,
have
like, the
gone in on it
Potomac
together
or
and you could have
something.
used it.
Virtual.
That's true,
Virtual.
yeah. Yes,
It would have been
exactly.
virtual.
I might still buy one. They're pretty.
It was
nice.
like what, like $100 and something bucks or something.
It was
like that?
pretty cheap. For
It
like
was
The only
cheap.
thing I
whatever
looked at
retail
was an Echo. Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
That's the
Amazon
only-
stuff
I've
was
got
like
one,
super
yeah.
cheap.
But now I was like, no.
There were a lot of inexpensive cruise movies.
Yes, let's go back to Tom Cruise. Holy shit. Okay, real quick, this is next movie. I haven't seen this. I don't know if you guys have. I've been meaning to watch this movie. It's like it's not considered one of his good ones. Kind of a lot of people have forgotten this movie called Losing It. Did you ever watch that?
No.
The only description I ever saw of it was sort of like a below the border, like Tijuana or Mexico kind of sex romp kind of movie. It's one of those
Oh.
80s,
Oh yeah,
you know, it's called Losing It.
like
his character's name is Woody.
it's like a Bachelor or whatever. With,
it is in Tijuana. It says-
Tom Hanks, and then Johnny Depp
Bachelor
did
Party.
another one. Bachelor Party.
Yeah,
and
and Private Resort.
Private Resort. Yeah, there's like all these like
Private
raunchy
School.
comedies with like
Everybody did them. It was a big thing
it's
back
like-
then. Porky's, you know.
Yeah.
But it says set in 1965, four rowdy teenage guys travel to Tijuana, Mexico for a night of partying when they are joined by a heartbroken housewife who's in town seeking a quick divorce. So it's totally that kind of film. I haven't seen that one. I can't talk a lot about it. IMDb has it as a 4.8.
Okay.
That means
but-
it was awesome.
Then let's go to the next one. This is where we start really getting the Tom Cruise.
I've
never
people
seen
really
this
start doing
movie.
this.
Yeah, this
Risky
is where
Business?
Oh, I thought you were
Losing
gonna,
It.
I think you were gonna say All the Right Moves.
No, Risky Business was
Risky
next.
Business,
They came out in
yeah,
the
I
same
seen
year.
that.
Risky Business and All the Right Moves in the
Rebecca
same year.
De Mornay.
DeMornay. Yeah, go comatose for me, baby. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That was her in Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, Rebecca De Mornay. Are you ready
Hand
for
that rocks
me,
the
Ralph?
cradle.
Yeah, she was the Hand that rocks. Jesus. My God.
I feel like that totally destroyed any.
I know. My God.
She was
But
great in that though.
She was. She's a
incredible.
great actress.
Yeah.
She was also in Three Musketeers in the early 90s.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to her. She seemed like she just kind of.
She's in that
seat.
Jessica Jones TV show.
Oh really?
Plays the mom of one of the main characters. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I hadn't seen her in forever, and I was like, oh my God, it's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Risky Business though. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's actually a really good movie. Like
It's a great
not
film.
you see it and you go, oh, it's just like this again, a sex romp 80s movie. Yeah, the music.
not the music. That whole scene is
They
so
even have
remembered.
In the Air Tonight during the sex scene on the train. There's a lot, like there is sexual stuff in the movie, and she is a prostitute, and he basically links up with her while his parents are out of town. He throws a party, then he starts this entrepreneurial thing where she gets her and her prostitute friends to bang all the guys from the school for money. It's crazy. It's actually a crazy premise.
It is a crazy premise, yeah.
She jacks all his shit at one point. He has to go to the pimp, played by Joey Pantoliano.
Yeah.
And the car ends up in the river. It's a crazy movie. But there's heart to the movie. There's interesting stuff. There's some smart shit in that movie. And it's really kind of...
It's like a darker Ferris Bueller.
it is. Yeah, a lot,
That's very true,
lot
yeah, it's a
darker.
good
It's not
resemblance,
light.
yeah.
There's a lot of heavy shit in there.
Yeah.
And
not
it
very
really
but
kind
it's a fun film. But
it's
still
this kid who's
Yeah.
sort of like trying to do what's right, trying to go to college, trying to go to Yale, I guess.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
kind of
his-
has these things like this guy
his
who's trying to
parents,
figure
right?
his shit out, right?
His dad's like you know,
Kind of pressure.
you gotta. Yeah, you get this like sense that it's one of
little
It's
those
the
bit of
pressure from
that,
his
the
yeah,
parents.
his
They're like
dad.
you have to be
Yeah.
you have to be a success. If
I don't
you're
think
a failure,
was
I hate
his
you.
mom was more lenient though. His mom wasn't as
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I think she was.
They always seem to portray the moms in the 80s
Yeah.
as like less intimidating as
You'll,
the
yeah.
father.
get
Yeah.
there. You'll get there.
The fathers are always monsters.
It was a generational thing at that time.
Apparently.
Guys are usually monsters.
It's like the guys are all on cocaine, man. It's the 80s.
That's right. It's true. But there is that iconic scene. And he slides through with the tennis racket, does that whole... Is it a tennis racket? I always want to say it's a tennis racket, but he ends up picking up
A broom
fire,
or
the
something.
fire.
Was it a broom?
The
I'll say-
fire stoker from the...
I don't know. It's been a
Anyway.
while since I've seen it. He's definitely, you mean as a microphone?
Yeah. Well, he's playing it at one point, doesn't he? He has the tennis racket, but then he has the fire stoker from the
Was it a
fireplace.
broom?
Doesn't he? At one point, he picks that up. Maybe
I feel like it
don't
was a
know.
broom.
It was no broom. No, I'm pretty sure.
The broom
there's no
or a mop. You can
It was
literally
neither.
pull
I'm pretty
it up
sure.
in 2
Somebody
seconds.
pull up Tom Cruise in his underwear. Somebody Google that.
Somebody pull Tom Cruise in his underwear.
Yeah.
Take us, guys. Take us.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
not
sure
gonna
it
get
was
flagged.
a tennis racket. Oh, God damn it! Do I have to figure this?
No,
All
I
right.
got it.
You know, it's probably in the IMDb photos.
What was that scene? What was that like awesome scene in the what was it? The metro?
It's a tennis racket,
The train?
by the way.
A tennis racket. Okay.
Yeah, in the train where they have sex. They wait for those people to leave the train. It's a really interestingly filmed scene. I
Yeah.
actually really like it. In
Like
the
the
air
lights
tonight's
are like
playing-
flashing.
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
almost like a slow motion, but it's like an in camera slow motion thing
Yeah.
they used to do. They did that at the end of Terminator 2 as well, where it's this. It's not your normal looking slow motion like your action film slow motion, where it's clean looking and almost has this kind of motion blur to it.
Yeah.
and that happens when they actually film it in slow motion. Like I guess they slow down the. I don't know exactly how you would do that with cameras back
probably
then.
like
They
an
slow
adjustment of the
down
shutter or
yeah,
something like that,
They
yeah.
slow down the actual film spooling through it. So and it's this and they got the neon lights and the train going by with the motion blur.
Yeah.
and it's a sensual scene too. I think in
It's
the
a
air
rated R
tonight-
film.
It's definitely a rated R film.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. I mean the premise alone kind of is very. It's not Pretty Woman.
You know, it's interesting. It seems
is also
like
rated
there was a lot more. Yeah, it is rated R. There was a lot more films that were rated R back then, and it's almost like the studios were like, I don't know if I'm going to say that like they were less interested in making money and
Yeah.
more interested in like telling whatever story they wanted to tell with whatever. They didn't
Yeah.
really care about the restriction, or maybe back then it was like, oh, it's rated R. Like, we got to see this movie because
Yeah.
that was like. Now it's like when something's rated R, it's like, okay.
Yeah, who cares, right?
I mean, even kids are like, whatever.
Yeah.
For rated R films.
Yeah,
It's
parents
like,
could still be upset about it, but I had it on last night. I was watching
Well,
it
'cause you
I
have,
was
like,
showing Callie
streaming,
and,
like-
and Frankie, she's 3 years old, was watching it with us. And as soon as it got to the first scary scene, she goes, She's like, that's scary. I don't want to watch
Oh,
that.
Cal- oh, that's
Frankie, no,
Callie.
Frankie,
Frankie was-
my little 3-year-old dog. She was like.
Yeah, it
She
is
was like,
scary.
no.
Dude, that
She
shit
went- it was
scared
the scene
me,
where he's
and I'm a
hanging-
grown-ass man.
Where that fire, like that kid sees that fire in that building with those hands, and then it opens up, and like Pennywise is hung from that hook or the noose or whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, that's scary. I don't like that." And I was like, "Okay," so I stopped it because I'm like, "It's heartbreaking." I didn't want her to get all messed up on it.
Yeah. Did
And-
you see the beginning with what's his name, the little kid in the boat?
You know what? I had Callie step in front of her and just kind of distract her for a
Yeah,
moment.
that
During
scene-
that, she was trying
I was
to
like-
look around Callie to see it, and I was like, I don't want her to see
I've
this.
never read the book, so I didn't really know how they were going to portray that part.
Yeah.
And then when he literally like bites that kid in half, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
He bites his arm off. He bites his arm
Oh,
off.
bites his arm
yeah,
off,
but
yeah.
it's a freaky scene. I did not want her to see that. She would have been like, fuck this. Because I'm always like, I don't want to censor my kid, but then I'm like, I fucking love you too much. I don't want to like. I don't want
fuck
to.
out of you.
There's a difference
I don't
between
wanna mess you up.
censoring your kid and then showing them something that they probably can't really comprehend.
Yeah, and
all
she's
that
not
much.
fully like she's not. It's not her choice to watch it particularly. Like she's not like, oh, Dad, can you put on It for me?
She could watch it and be like, "This is real. Like
Yes.
somebody filmed these real things."
Yeah.
happening,
I mean, I've
and
been
this is the
trying.
world we live in."
I've been working over on that for a while. That like what you see on the screen is not real. Like
Yeah.
I've been putting that in her head since she was like before she could talk.
Oh well.
Unless it's CNN. Wait, no, they're fake news. Sorry.
So all right, so Tom Cruise on that risky business scene, he has a candlestick.
It is a candlestick.
It's a candlestick, and then he also has that thing from the fireplace, whatever.
Oh, he does. Okay, so there's no tennis racket.
So there's no tennis.
I think I saw a parody that had a tennis racket.
maybe it's
one.
parody, 'cause there's,
it
like-
may have been the
it
Ben
took me a
Stiller
second
one
to
from
find it.
MTV movie awards.
No.
where he did all those Tom Cruise's stunt double, and it shows him slide through. He
it
made
could
him out
be
of
that,
tennis
yeah.
racket.
No, there's like it took me a while because I found there were so many like parodies.
Parodies.
Off of this. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell?
Yeah, it's an iconic scene.
Yeah, it is.
Old time in rock and roll.
I don't know how that scene became so iconic, but
Because if you think about it at the time, okay, things could become a lot more iconic back then in
Than they
movies
can now,
because
yeah.
because there's so much oversaturation, like everything's been quote unquote done before. At that point, it's like you had this great song that the music starts, he slides in, it's perfect timing, and then he's just doing that whole. It's a great scene. It really is a great scene, but a lot of things have been done similar to that or whatever since then.
yeah.
And I like the scene. It's a good scene. Anyways,
No, I don't think it's a bad scene. I just,
I like seeing high school, boys dance around in their underwear. The
whitey-tighties,
Yeah,
huh?
apparently. No, it is a good scene though. I'm definitely gonna edit out that line. Context,
Oh my
people.
gosh.
Context. We got to look at intent. What did
Yeah,
I mean?
come on,
I
Neil.
feel
Tell
like
me.
Nick-
Tell me we're not
Nick
gonna
could
get
literally
caught up on
say
this
whatever he wants because he's the one in charge of editing.
you
Like,
understand?
he'll just, I'll say
The more
something crazy.
followers-
I
and
leave
it's
all your shit in.
I know you do.
The more followers
Actually, I don't
we
know.
get,
I don't
the
know.
more we have to like protect Nick
That's
and his
true.
outbursts.
That's true.
It's like, nah, he didn't mean it like that. You just don't know him.
Man, we keep
He's very sensitive.
We keep derailing. It's going to take us forever to
true.
get through all these movies.
All right, let's
so there's just
skip-
one. There's
skip
one. There's
over
one line from Risky Business, which is sometimes you gotta say what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta say what the fuck. I always like that one. I used to say that a lot whenever I was
Yeah,
getting
what's the
stressed
line
out.
at the end of Ferris Bueller?
The-
Life
the-
will pass you by.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta stop every once in a while and look. What he goes. Sometimes.
See, it's like a very similar thing.
It
I'm
is.
telling you.
Sometimes, like I said, life moves pretty fast. You have to stop. If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you might miss it.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's what it is.
Yeah. It's different, but it's got a similar kind of concept.
Yeah.
All right, All the Right Moves. You never seen that movie?
No.
It's actually really good. He plays a football player like in high school, and I think he's in Pittsburgh. It's like a steel town, Pittsburgh. And Craig T. Nelson plays his coach and is riding his ass hard. And it's just kind of like, it's another, it's him kind of playing another kid trying to figure out his fucking life. But it's this thing where these are these early movies. They're good movies. They're not like holy shit amazing movies, but you could see the acting quality. You could see the star power in Tom Cruise that early on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really can.
You can see
He's
the hunger.
great. That scene
Yeah.
where he's all kind of like ragtag, sweating in the locker room and kind of loses it on the coach and he's like crying while he's doing it. You're like, this kid's got something.
Yeah.
And this was the same year he did Risky Business. So he released those two back to back. And then the next one he did was Legend with Ridley Scott.
That's one of my favorite
It's interesting.
films.
It's like 2 years between.
Yeah, there's 2 years between.
Yeah, like he just didn't do anything, and then I remember Legend as a kid. Like I
Yes.
watched that a lot.
So-
that was a very disturbing film for me.
It's dark. Tim Curry is the kind of the devil.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just the whole, it's kind of
min-
got a
the
labyrinth thing
minions
going
and-
on. Yeah, it's got kind
yeah.
of a labyrinth thing going on. Mia Sara, who wasn't, speaking of Ferris Bueller's Day
Yeah.
Off, Mia Sara was in it.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott directed it. Now, I will tell you this. I loved that movie as a kid. I did watch it within the last 5 years, and I didn't think it held up as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I did like it.
Fantasy
Yeah.
to a kid is like
Yeah.
is always
Well,
gonna,
the same with Willow. Okay, so I still love both these movies, and I really love Willow. And there's things about that, but some of the animation and some of the stuff in it doesn't hold
Yes.
up as well, and it kind of sucks because I usually kind of forgive that stuff, and I do forgive that, but I just remember not noticing that when I was a kid, and I'd rather not notice that as an adult. But Willow still, I mean, Val Kilmer's great in it and everything.
Well,
but,
so I rewatched Ghostbusters 2,
Yeah.
and I thought I was gonna have a similar thing with that, where I was gonna be like, oh, the special effects are weak, and then I was like, special effects are still great in this movie, so good.
all right, let's get off this.
'Cause
fucking
it's the
thing.
best one.
All right, man. All right.
I knew it. I knew it. I just like,
So Legend, so that was Legend, right? So Legend, he was really good. He played Jack. He played that, the kind of like a Tarzan-y Peter Pan kind of a guy in there,
Yeah.
and he has to go save Mia Sara after she goes and touches the unicorn, and he's told her not to. So she's fucking like taking a bite of the apple and eating. This is fucking Eve
Yeah.
biting
It is
the
like
apple.
it's an interesting story. I mean,
It
the
is.
whole story is
Very
and-
creative.
And then
Very,
like when the
Kroll.
ice. Yeah, Kroll's
Kroll,
great.
wow.
When the like ice storm comes and then the whole lake was just like whoosh,
Yes.
freezes
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Like it's just some crazy stuff in
yeah,
that movie.
all
yeah.
because she touched the unicorn.
yeah.
Or actually, no, because they darted the unicorn.
They chopped its
Yeah, they-
it's unicorn.
That's what it was.
That's a
Yeah,
horn,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They stole the horn, yeah.
It's called a horn, right?
Is that what it's called?
Yes, it is.
it's a horn.
All right, it's probably a horn. I guess.
Unicorns real?
Oh, of course they're real. Or as my daughter calls them, cunicorns.
Unicorns. That somehow sounds racist.
I know, I was going to say, it sounds like a racist slur.
All right, next.
All right. Then he does his breakout role. Like, so those are good movies. Those are solid. He's making a name for himself. And then he does the blockbuster that basically makes him A-list superstar.
Oh, was
Top
it?
Gun.
Really? That was a big hit for him?
That was a huge hit. Huge hit.
I never saw it.
Tony Scott directed it. So he went from, Legend to...
I haven't seen the last half of that movie.
What the?
I know.
Like, okay, cut.
Top Gun is huge.
Cut.
You know they're coming out with a sequel next
You
year.
guys forced me
You
to
have
watch
not
it, and then we
seen-
got halfway through it. I was like, "What are we watching?"
Fucking bullshit. Whatever.
How can?
The women never came. That's all I'm saying.
You just saw the volleyball scene and you got issues.
That's
got
where we
issues.
stopped it because everybody was like, "Oh, we got to get up for work tomorrow." Blah blah blah. And it was
Yeah.
like 11 o'clock at night. So that's
your
literally the last
lasting
memory I
impression.
have is this like 12-minute like lubed up volleyball.
My favorite
scene.
part of that scene is the Goose not taking his shirt off. Everybody else is shirtless. And Anthony Edwards was like, nobody told me I had to get in shape for this fucking movie. Everybody else
That's
is like
hilarious.
six pack, and you could see him with his little dumpy mustache. Like Anthony Edwards did not get a
not
six
want to-
pack for
yeah,
this film.
exactly.
But anyways, so he went from Ridley Scott and then directed Legend, and then his next movie was Top Gun with Tony Scott, Ridley's brother. So the brothers did it back to back. Top Gun, still one of Tony Scott's best movies. Tom Cruise's best.
Just
It's
an incredible
so good. The soundtrack is
film.
great.
Everything in it.
The stunts, the flying in that movie was
Yeah.
like it was completely never seen before. That was incredible, and they worked like very
Highway to the danger zone.
Was
Kenny
that written
Loggins
for the
yeah,
Yeah.
for that. Kenny Loggins.
Yep.
And then
sequel? The sequel's been announced, right?
Remember when he?
There's a sequel next year. They're filming
Yeah.
it now. It's called Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, that was the Harold Faltermeyer who did the Axel Foley theme for Beverly Hills Cop. Did that Top Gun theme
Wow.
in that movie.
Remember when he gets to her house? Boom, doom, doom.
That's this next scene after the volleyball scene, by the way.
That
Take
song
my
was written
breath
for that movie?
away. Actually, it's not the next scene after. Yeah, that was.
No,
No. Take
it
my
is.
breath away. I think it may have been.
It is
Berlin.
the next scene because he
Berlin.
takes the bike.
Wasn't that song
He takes
in?
the bike,
I
but they
feel
don't
like that
end up having
song was
sex
in a
in that
Bond
scene.
movie
No, I'm
too.
not talking about the sex part, Nick. I'm talking about that's the next scene because he takes the
Okay,
bike
then
to
that
her
song
house.
plays again once they do have sex in that blue silhouette. I'm just saying. Oh, and you know what else
Was
was
it
playing?
Kelly McGillis or something?
Kelly McGillis, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but real quick, the other song that's playing while he's at the house is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding.
Yeah.
Because he goes, I used to listen to this. My parents used to listen to this, and that was the memory he had of him because his dad died or whatever, and he just remembers them listening to that. So that's also in there. It's a good soundtrack. All right, next movie, though, because we got to have to like jump through these films because there's so many.
The color of money.
Color of Money. Have you guys seen this movie?
Yes.
Martin Scorsese directed it. Have you seen Color of Money, Neil? Okay, it's the sequel to The Hustler, which is a Paul Newman film from the 60s.
Okay,
black
I
and white.
remember that, yeah.
He's a pool shark. Jackie Gleason's in that film.
Yes.
George C. Scott's in that film, I believe. Anyways, this is The Color of Money, and this is about 20 some odd years later. They did a sequel to it. Paul Newman plays the same character, but he's older now, and he takes this younger pool player under his wing, which is Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
What's funny is Tom Cruise looks younger in this film than he does in Top Gun, even though it technically came out, the same year or like a year later.
That's true, yeah.
So I always wonder if they filmed it before they filmed Top Gun. But again, he's great. Mary Mastrantonio's in this film.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she is. But Tom Cruise is great. There's that whole scene in the staircase when him and Paul Newman get in this kind of fight, and he's so fucking tired of him kind of treating him like he's a kid, not letting him, and he's like. He says, I'm done with you, kid, or whatever. And Tom Cruise just kind of fucking loses it, breaks the fucking pool stick case.
Yeah.
Breaks half the fucking rail off the staircase. It's a good scene, though.
It's a great film.
It is. It's really good. It's Scorsese.
Yeah.
It's pool shark stuff, and he plays kind of a cocky kid because he still was a young guy. So he was still playing those more, young and inexperienced.
trying to
earn
his
arrogance.
respect type of
Exactly.
film.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Top Gun had a little bit of that too. He was
Yeah.
like,
He was trying
wild
to earn-
cannon.
yeah.
Now he could play more mature roles, but back then he was, playing kind of the loose cannon.
Exactly.
I don't know if we're gonna get through all these movies.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
we're
this
not.
is the thing
So-
about Top. No, we're going to. We're gonna just.
he
No,
has
we're-
like 46
No,
movies.
we have-
it
Oh my
says,
God.
but like
But
each movie is like a
one
memorable movie.
Memorable, and you could talk about them.
Yeah.
We're already 32 minutes in. I may cut some of that stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not going to cut any of it. Okay.
All right, let's go to the next
his
film.
next one. This one is, in my opinion, I love this movie, but I believe it's underrated. Some people
Really?
don't-
Underrated?
Yeah, some people are not big on. Some people love Cocktail, and some people are like, it's not actually that great a movie.
I thought you were going to another one.
No, you're skipping the next one after that with
Dustin.
Dustin Hoffman. No. This is
mine
before
is a
that.
completely different list here.
No, he's
Are
got
you
the
going
same
through the
list, but
IMDb?
he's
Are you on IMDb?
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine says that the next one is Color of Money, Rain Man, then Cocktail.
So the thing is, they're the same year, so they're probably just putting them in their own.
iPhone's got to do everything different. It's like the British.
Definitely IMDb.
Doing
It's just
things
IMDb.
backwards.
Definitely IMDb.
Definitely IMDb.
Definitely IMDb.
So Cocktail, okay.
Double dongle?
Have you
That
seen?
sounds explicit.
That does. Have you seen Cocktail?
Yes.
I have not seen Cocktail.
Really? You
There's
should
a lot
watch-
of these the earlier cruises. I've seen
You have-
Legend.
yeah.
I love Far and Away.
Right, which is
Oh,
a few
that
years
is like
92.
a
I love that
super
movie.
I
love story.
I love that. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Cocktail, he plays a bartender.
Yeah.
He kind of ends up falling into a bartender job at like a Fridays in New York, and it's fucking crazy. And he has to learn from this older Australian bartender.
I just recently watched. I mean, it's not about a bartender, but Roadhouse. I'd never seen that movie.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
a
love
crazy
that
ass movie.
It is,
movie.
yeah.
I love that movie.
Are they lit? Are all these murders really?
Yeah.
Like nothing happens. They
It's
just
crazy.
get away with all these murders.
Yeah, because of like the crime boss in the
Oh
area.
my
or whatever.
God.
That's a crazy fucking movie.
It's crazy
I
as
love
shit.
it.
Like I'm like, where are the police? Like, how are these? How
Yeah.
is this happening?
I love
Anyway.
Roadhouse. I watched that again within the last year. I hadn't
Yeah.
seen it in a while.
It's on like
okay,
HBO or
so
something.
Cocktail, right? So
The show
Cocktail, he
Girls
plays a
One.
bartender. So it's like he's a bartender, and then he ends up hooking up with this guy, this Australian guy who kind of teaches him everything. And they start doing
Yeah.
that juggling crazy stuff, and they open, they end up in this big bar. Then they end up getting a big fight, break away. He goes to Jamaica, becomes a bartender in Jamaica, meets Elizabeth Shue
Cruz
there.
does?
Cruz does.
Yeah.
Okay. Goes there. Then he meets back up with him in Jamaica. Then they end up going back to New York. And anyways, it's
Hustle.
kind of it's a drama, right? So it's like, it's hard to just explain it in one little sentence, but it's like this bartender thing.
It's a hustle drama. Yeah.
It is. But it's a really good film. I love this film. I like
yeah.
the romance ends of it. I love the guy Brian Brown, who plays the
his
older
partner.
guy. He's from FX, the main guy from
Yeah.
FX.
Oh, yeah.
He
Okay.
plays Doug Coughlin. And he goes, Coughlin's Law, and he always teaches him something. He goes, Coughlin's Law, bury the dead. They stink up the joint. As for the rest of Coughlin's Law, forget it. The guy was always full of shit. It's really good. There's some great dramatic scenes, and then Tom Cruise, again, is really good in it.
Yeah.
All right, let's just jump ahead, though, because we got 40 fucking films to get through.
Name. So you got Born 4th of July. Which
Well,
was
Rain Man, we can't jump Rain Man. We have to say a
Oh, I
couple
thought
lines.
we-
No, we didn't do it. He just mentioned it real
Oh, he
quick.
just went-
Rain Man. Both seen it?
Oh yeah, I love
definitely,
it.
definitely
Oh my
seen
God.
it.
I just watched it
definitely
recently.
So good.
So good.
Dustin Hoffman won an Oscar for it.
So good.
Tom Cruise is also, he just kept getting better and better in these films,
Yeah.
though. Like,
Yeah.
by this point, it's like, yes, Dustin Hoffman's incredible, and he won the Oscar for that. But let's not, just forget Tom Cruise's performance in that.
I think Tom Cruise said, like in his early years, said, you know what? I'm going to become the best actor out there.
Yeah.
And now he's saying, done.
Yeah, ambitious. He was like,
I mean, he's-
look at his character arc in that film, because here's the funny thing about that film. Dustin Hoffman doesn't really have a character arc in that film, because if you were to do it realistically,
He's
there is
static
no
the whole
character
way
arc
through.
for somebody that's autistic like that. There is
Yeah.
no character arc.
He doesn't really change.
He doesn't.
doesn't.
But but what you see is you see Tom Cruise change.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently,
A
like the
lot.
original script had like Dustin Hoffman's character kind of at the end, him going, "I love you." I love you, Rain Man, or Raymond, or whatever he says at the end, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say it back, but in the script he did. And they're like, that's not realistic. Like, that's not what an autistic person wouldn't do. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not how that would have gone. So what they had is he puts his head against his, and it's kind of this connection in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's this great scene at the end after they've gone through all this stuff, and he's gone through so much shit
I mean,
himself.
Exactly.
Tom
yeah.
Cruise basically like uses autistic
No, but that's the whole-
brother to make a
that's
lot
the
of
whole
money
thing.
in Vegas.
Yeah, but still, like, that's not really like, watch the fucking movie. He was trying to get him to like
No, I
constantly
know.
do that, and then he realized this is not right for him. He needs to bring him back.
Yeah.
like that he realized he loves him, and it wasn't about just getting the inheritance, which is what it was originally about.
Yeah,
Kinda
in the
took
beginning
him-
of the movie or the first half, he's like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is an awful person.
awful.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. Hated his dad. Fucking didn't.
Well,
you
his
know,
dad treated him like a piece of
Yeah,
shit. It wasn't
yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's true.
it wasn't
All right,
like,
so
It was a contentious thing, but I love that. I love that one scene. It's this one really funny scene, and it's perfect timing where he goes. He's getting in a fight with his girlfriend in the hotel, and she goes, "You're using him." He goes, "I'm not using him." He goes, "Raymond, am I using you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Shut up! He's answering a question from an hour ago." Anyways, I just think the whole dynamic is great. It's a
Yeah.
good duo. All right, next film.
So you got Born on the 4th of July.
Born on the 4th of July. Okay, so this was people going, he should do another Top Gun type movie. And he had the choice to do, I think it was a Top Gun sequel or something like that. And somebody told him, I want to say it was Paul Newman, who he's friends with at this point, said, you got to go in a different direction. And so instead, he decided not to do a popcorn blockbuster film, but to do an Oliver Stone gritty
Yeah.
war film.
Yeah.
Born on the 4th of July.
fantastic film.
Yeah.
No,
really
it was,
good.
No,
Dark,
he showed
heavy film.
like he showed his
Super
range
heavy.
in this.
Oh, yeah.
This is where you saw
Penis! Penis!
Yeah.
I had never
This is where you
seen
saw-
this movie, and I always thought Cruise was like a joke actor. I was like, this
Yeah.
guy's just fluff. This guy's pretty boy,
Pretty boy, right.
like whatever. Like growing up my entire life, and then like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I saw this film and I was like, oh shit. Like, this came out long ass time ago. I'm like, this motherfucker
89.
can act.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is
anyway,
where
yeah.
you saw him like really show his range.
Yes.
Yeah.
He really like went away from what he was comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in and did this film, and it was like almost every scene you're watching him with an awe
Yeah.
because he's just, even when like the second half of the film when he's on the wheelchair and you're seeing this part of his life and his breakdown. Dude, I can't tell you, like, this is like emotional.
Yeah.
This is like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy's life is really like derailed, and he's like somebody that fought for America, and he's just being neglected.
Yeah.
And you just
Ends up in the wheelchair
and ends
and-
up in the wheelchair. Yeah, and it's just crazy. And you see that.
Yeah.
Like you see, wow, he's really got range.
Yeah. No, it really was like, if you want to go,
It's
and
a
anybody's
brutal
like, Tom
movie.
Cruise is a shitty actor, I'm like, all right, go watch Born on the 4th of July and then, proceed to go fuck yourself, because that movie, he shows it. Like, there's no denying his talent as an actor in that film.
And I think on the next film, which we brought up earlier, which is Far and Away, he showed more range too.
right. Actually, there's Days of Thunder between those.
Oh, that's right. There
Yeah, which was
Days
the
of
Tom,
Thunder.
which
Yeah.
was another, he hooked back up with Tony Scott, and a lot of people say
Top Gun
Days,
style.
Days
Yeah.
of Thunder's
Yeah.
Top Gun.
Top Gun on the road with NASCAR.
I've seen that movie many times. I don't
Yeah.
know why I've never seen Top
Yeah.
Gun.
Yeah, because they literally had an Iceman character, like Val Kilmer's character. They had an adversary like that in that movie. It was Michael Rooker,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Walking Dead and all that, and Guardians of the Galaxy. But Nicole Kidman, that's where they met. And they ended up together.
That-
I like Days of Thunder though. Robert
The
Duvall,
best scene
I
in
like
Days
it.
of Thunder
Ron
is when
Howard
they're
directed
racing.
that. Ron
They're
Howard.
racing
Yep,
to the
the next
hospital.
one. Yes.
Remember that?
Oh,
you mean
yeah.
when they're racing in the hospital in the wheelchairs?
They're
No,
racing
no.
all the way to all the way to the
there's one
road.
where
They're
they're-
racing. They started on the road where they're driving. They destroy the cars.
Yeah.
They destroy the cars.
Remember they're driving
Yeah.
the cars and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
no, it wasn't at a hospital. It was to like a meeting. They were meeting with like
Yeah.
the commissioner.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
the
That's right.
hospitals.
That's
is
But they're
own-
driving
yeah,
like
they end up in the
rentals or
yeah,
something, and they
that's-
fucking
Yeah,
destroy
and they
those car rentals.
Destroy the car
Yeah.
rentals. Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
like
right.
that film. And again,
But they become buddies after that. They're
yeah.
like
And
they have
he
like
be-
this mutual admiration.
Exactly.
And this was just another thing Tom Cruise did. Like, he really was driving these cars. He learned to drive these NASCAR
Yeah.
things. He was, again, good friends with Paul Newman, who also was a big driver.
Yeah.
And so they kind of kept this passion and this friendship together on this, like, common...
Paul Newman passed away.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
several
So
years ago.
sad, yeah.
But, anyways, they're both NASCAR,
Yeah.
love NASCAR and love those kind of racing cars. But yes, this next one, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the first Tom Cruise movie. This is the first Tom Cruise movie I ever saw in theaters.
Far and Away.
Far and away.
all
Yep.
right.
Really?
So in 1992, I was
what
6.
is-
I was 6 years old.
I saw Days of Thunder at King's Dominion on the ride.
I remember that they had the ride, which it was replaced later on by Goldeneye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
same one. But Far and Away was the first movie I remember seeing it. I saw it at the.
Times Square.
It wasn't. No. It doesn't matter where I saw it. I remember where I saw it. It was like Ziegfeld Theater. Anyways, it was
Broadway.
It was that huge. I've told you about the Ziegfeld Theater. Like, huge, like fucking 4,000 seats, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
like the big stage at the beginning, the big golden curtains. It was from the turn of the century. They used to play the Ziegfeld Follies.
You know what you remind me
Ziegfeld.
of, Nick? Like your earlier years?
Huh.
Just a King Kong film where you see that old style of people going to the films, and they
That's
have
what
the,
I think of when
they
you
have the little
describe
kid with
seeing
the
these
popcorn.
movies,
They
yeah.
have the little kid saying, "Come on, son.
Actually,
we're gonna watch
I-
this film here."
Yeah,
I kind
my
of get
little
this
newsies
picture
out there.
of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Last Action Hero. That's what I imagined.
That
like
was
this
probably
guy.
more. That was probably closer to it because
You
it was
know?
that time
You're like a
period.
buddy with like the projectionist, and there's nobody in the theater,
Yeah.
and like Nick gets to watch a movie by
Can you turn
himself.
the volume
I guess.
up?
Yeah, I loved it. Oh my god.
Watching
Yeah.
the new God, what was his name in that film? Arnold's character.
Jack Slater.
Jack
Slater.
Slater
Yeah.
film. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. But Far and Away is so good.
I think that's a film that's
good.
so underrated.
I agree,
and didn't
underrated.
didn't get as much props.
Yes.
because I still remember. I remember a lot of scenes in that film that had so much emotional value.
Yes.
To their relationship, to what was going on. Like when they were in America, they couldn't find a place to live, and they broke into this person's house
Yeah.
because he had to, because she
And
was
she got shot.
sick. She was sick. What was
She got
it?
shot in there.
She got shot.
They were having
there,
like
and
a
then she
romance.
was-
Yeah, because they were trespassing.
Exactly. Yeah, and
then
how that it was
he had a
snowing and all.
runner, yeah.
Oh, it was. I mean, every scene in that film, even towards the end when he's trying to get to the land, he's it's
Oh,
just
the
so
race.
powerful.
Really, it is.
It
Ron
feels
Howard
like a
directed-
brutal film.
It does.
It's a very strong.
Yeah, it's
film.
they're
yeah.
Irish, Irish
immigrants.
people,
Yeah,
immigrants.
yeah.
They come to. He becomes a bare knuckle
For a dream,
boxer. on the streets or whatever. And they keep getting shit on. It's like that Irish immigrant experience from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
They get shit on. But I like, the end when they end up first off, I like that line. Do you like my hat? Why can't you say you like my hat? Oh, I don't like your stupid hat, Joseph. But because they have this whole contentious relationship, then they end up falling for each other. And I think the buildup of that is really good. But that end when they have to race for land, which is a thing they actually used to do back then, where they have this whole open land, like thousands of acres, and people would, if you can get to the spot first, once they hit the, shot the gun in the air, people would ride off on their horses. If they can get to the spot first and stake your claim, like literally stake your flag into it, you are allowed that land.
Yeah.
That's it. You didn't have to,
yours.
Well,
it's yours.
there was land everywhere. There were probably Native Americans on the land.
That's the thing. They were stealing it from people. But the whole thing was like it was brutal though. People were getting killed over it. It was just, it was nuts. And that whole scene is intense. And that's where they re-meet because they disconnected for a while in the film and then they come back at that point. And
didn't he break his leg or something?
No, the horse falls on
the
him.
horse. Yeah, the horse falls on him.
And he dies kind of, right? And then you see this out of body kind of experience come in. The camera's going aerial.
Oh, that's when
aerial
that's
shot,
right. That's right.
And she goes, "I love you," and then the camera stops and zooms back into the body, and he wakes up.
You know what's amazing about that?
Yeah.
That reminds me of like the end of Beauty and the Beast, the Disney film.
Yeah.
'Cause it's kind of like a similar thing. Like Beast gets stabbed, he's literally dead, or he's dying, or whatever, and then the rose like dwindles away.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, which film came first? I guess.
Beauty and the Beast came first, 91.
Ron Howard
It's been
stole that
done.
shit.
Come on, you think it hasn't been done before that?
Stole it from Beauty
No,
and the
it's
Beast.
the way they filmed it is what was interesting to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't even necessarily the premise or the how it happened. It was like the camera work. It's literally like a POV shot of his spiritual essence or whatever.
Yeah.
Rising into the sky and then shooting back as soon as she says she loves him.
Yeah.
All right, but same.
But that horse, when the horse falls on him, you're like,
oh yeah, you feel the thud.
it was just
Some of that stuff, I don't even know how they filmed it.
Yeah. Back then, I know it's amazing. Same year, he comes out with A Few Good Men. Rob Reiner. First off, this guy is doing like films with classic, legendary directors at this point. I mean, he's done Ron Howard, Ridley Scott, Tony Scott, Oliver Stone.
He's basically said, "I'm Tom Cruise," and people have recognized him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barry Levinson. It's like, he's just. It's amazing. And this Martin Scorsese, he's literally gone, I have to hook up with talented directors. And that's what makes a different career.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes a career is like, it's not about your performance. It's like, can you find the right script and the right director?
Yeah.
And that will make it. And that's kind of what the guy's done. He's been very smart in that way.
Yeah.
So that movie, Few Good Men.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
No. And he says something like, "You piece of shit." He starts cussing him out.
Aaron Sorkin,
And
man.
I just
did his
It is
writing
funny that that
masterclass.
became like a parody. I mean, that one line.
Yeah,
Speaking
you
of
can't handle
like,
the truth.
Yeah,
Was Kevin
like,
Bacon in that?
Dancing
Kevin
in his
Bacon's in there.
underwear.
Kevin Bacon there?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore, yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Dancing in his
so many people.
underwear to, this line. Like, literally after that movie came out, I remember everybody
You
was
can't
just like,
handle the truth. Yeah.
I want the
truth. You want answers? I want. He goes. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
just
they-
the way
he
he
goes
baits
into his-
him. He
they
just
did-
baits the
it's
shit
just-
out of him.
They did
It's so
something like
well
82
written.
takes of that, by the way. The Jack
No,
Nicholson-
but here's the thing. Yeah, that's what the whole night before was that talk where he tells them, I have to get him to confess.
Yes.
And so, and that
He's like, I have to break him.
I have
Because
to break.
they have, like,
how do you
there's
break
no
this
other
like
out.
It's the
solid?
pride.
Yeah.
Push his pride.
Yeah, and he pushes his pride. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was such.
Who
a
the
wonderful film.
fuck is PFC William Santiago? Oh man, he's so good in that
He's
film.
so crazy.
Jack Nicholson, but Tom Cruise he holds his own against him. You know.
Yeah.
But that movie, Aaron Sorkin. I just did Aaron Sorkin's writing class, master class. All these master classes
Yeah.
they have. I
Yeah.
just did Aaron Sorkin's writing one, which was incredible. But he talks a lot about writing this film and everything like that. And that film, it's like. That was Aaron Sorkin. Like people knew his first play he ever wrote was A Few Good Men. His first screenplay he ever wrote, Few Good Men.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Oh, wow.
incredible. And again, it was like Rob Reiner is an incredible director and a correct script. And Tom Cruise it was good
did
choice,
it.
man.
Yep.
Good choice.
Yep.
There's an officer on deck. All right, next one. The Firm. Was this John Grisham, right? John Grisham
Yes.
novel?
Yeah,
The
John Grisham.
Firm. Have you guys seen this recently?
Yes. Not recently.
Okay,
but I've-
this movie holds up.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like one of those, like John Grisham, there's a bunch of John Grisham novels turned into movies in the 90s.
Yeah.
They also had Rainmaker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this one is incredible. gentlemen, I'm your lawyer. He's the attorney to like the mafia.
Yeah.
He finds out that his firm is like working with these mafia guys. There's all this like scandalous shit going on, and he has to like keep his integrity and figure out how to take them down without also taking himself down with it. It's crazy, and like that whole scene where he jumps out the fucking window onto that truck, and it's really interesting because it's not an action film, but there's these beats and rhythm, and it's a thriller.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of set the tone for what was that Russell Crowe film?
Not The Insider.
The Informant or something?
Insider.
No.
The Insider with Al Pacino.
Insider?
Yeah, Al Pacino and Russell Crowe. The Insider. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there was a series
Michael
of films.
Mann, I believe, did that.
Yeah, there's this, like and then it was like Michael Clayton. There was like all these like kind of like similar films to The Firm that came out after the fact.
Devil's Advocate.
I don't know what Devil's Advocate.
It's kind of similar. Like he's a lawyer in the city with the big guy. Just saying.
Well, isn't like Lucifer in that movie?
Anyway, but The Firm I thought was like
It's a great movie.
It is really good.
Yeah, everybody's really good. God, what's his name is in it? The guy who's in all this.
Oh, that old guy from Cocoon.
The old guy. What?
I just. You guys have got this out with the guy. He's in all the diabetes commercials. I don't know why that's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Wilford Brimley? Yeah, from Cocoon. That's his name. He's also from Remo Williams, and
he's a great actor, but he's in all those diabetes
Wilford Brimley
commercials.
And this
He's dead, right?
No, he's not. That's
He's
what's
not?
crazy. I looked this guy up recently.
He cannot
He's still
die.
alive.
He cannot die.
But also,
He was all the diabetes.
he wasn't even 60 when he did The Firm.
What?
Oh, really?
No, that's what the guy always looks like.
that's
He's
his
like
trick.
90.
He's skin age.
He's like 35 or something.
Dude, he was like 51 years old when he did Cocoon. He looked like he was
Wow.
150. Like,
Jeez.
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, isn't that funny? That's what's
He's
crazy.
one of those guys that looks old when they're young.
Yeah, it worked for him. 'cause
He's
he kinda
Brad
cornered-
Pitt in what's that movie?
Oh yeah, Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button in
Yeah,
it.
but Gene Hackman's also in The Firm. Yeah, okay, so that's The Firm. The Firm is such a good fucking film.
Who directed that?
God, I want to say that was
Mitch-
Sidney Pollack. Come on.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
okay.
Is this, he did Tootsie, Out of Africa.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I don't know, but there's, what is ones in the 70s? I'm like fucking totally blanking. I'm thinking Sidney Lumet for some reason. I can't get Sidney Lumet out of my head.
Oh, Ed Harris is in The Firm too. I forgot. This was like
Oh, yeah, that's
oh
right.
my
Yeah,
God, I
he is.
totally
Yeah.
forgot
It's like
about him.
early
I love Ed
days
Harris.
Ed Harris. Yeah. Oh my God, dude, The Abyss.
Oh my God.
Have you seen The
dude,
Abyss?
that's not on Blu-ray.
This
Blu-ray.
Powder.
It's
I
on
know.
Blu-ray.
Fucking
Was he in
James
Powder?
I tried to buy
Cameron.
that. That's what
I
was trying
googled
to
it,
buy.
and James Cameron. There was this
He was
whole
in Powder
interview.
too, right?
Ed
Who?
Harris.
Ed Harris?
No.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't in Powder. You're thinking,
Jeff Goldblum was in Powder.
yeah, Milk Money? Are you thinking Milk Money?
No, I was thinking Powder, but you're right, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else in there that
In Powder?
in Powder that reminded me of Ed
Right, but-
Harris. But it's not Ed Harris.
It's probably not one of the other the sheriff. Lance Henriksen.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He
Definitely,
played like
yeah.
the sheriff or something. I love Powder. It's a great movie.
Sidney Pollack directed the Yakuza in the 70s. Yeah, so he did a lot of these
Yeah.
films. But The Firm was just incredible. But I
No,
think
that was a super strong film.
yeah.
So,
Gary
we're-
Busey.
the
was in
issue that we
Firm?
have in here is that we picked a very strong actor with a lot of strong films,
Yeah.
which
It's
cannot
unusual.
be one podcast.
I know. We were trying to rat-a-tat-tat
Which-
through these, and I was like,
You
we
can't.
need to give this
You look
more
up some actors like Samuel Jackson, and he's got like 100 plus
Yeah.
things to his name. And you look at Tom Cruise, 46, but every
It's a banger.
film is like a
it's a
film
memory.
you've
A
probably
banger.
seen.
It's so crazy.
Every film is a memory.
You literally
Yeah,
maybe have
that's
like a
weird.
couple of his early ones that like losing it that you would, but like after that, and even the ones you go, that was not that good. I'm like night and day. I'm like, first off, that's
I like
a decent,
Night
that's
and
a
Day,
good
actually.
film.
It's
It's
a
a
really
decent
good
film,
movie.
but also that's rare that you have a movie that you're like, it was okay.
Here's the thing about
Most of them
Tom-
are like,
yeah.
damn, that's like you know that fucking movie.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Tom Cruise's film. Even though there might be ones that aren't that great,
Yeah.
it's still a
Which is rare.
spectacle to watch his film.
It is, yeah.
And still very
Even the ones that aren't that
entertaining.
great are rare though too. That's what's so crazy.
And it's because of him.
30
It's
plus
his
years.
presentation.
Yeah.
You know, he's always been a top-notch presenter.
Yeah.
When it comes to his films. So
30 plus years and he's
30
still
plus, yeah.
doing it, still on the top.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And this new film's coming out. It's supposed to be
Fallout?
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Impossible.
And it's
Fallout,
supposed to
yeah.
be one of
Exactly
the
when this
best.
comes out,
people,
it's already come out, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like his new film that has come out, it's like one of the best Mission Impossibles.
I know, it's
Yeah.
so crazy.
It's
Fallout.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
bananas.
It's gonna get nominated for like 20 Oscars.
They should give it something at this point. Come on. These
All
are
right.
just
Maybe
keeping
it's,
events.
special effects. I don't
Screenplay
know.
maybe even like this one's got like a
screenplay?
really deep story.
Do
Screenplay.
stunts fall into the category
Nomination.
of special effects?
You know, that's a big controversy. No, there's not. They don't
There
have
is
a stunts.
no-
No.
There is a separate stunts award show though.
I
for-
think they do
created
have
by
one now.
the-
It's
that
called like the
industry.
Falsies or something. I may have
Yeah.
made that up, but it's like
No, I remember seeing like
no,
a,
there
like a
is.
There's something,
televised
but I don't know
thing.
what it's called. It
Yeah,
might not
I
be
forget.
called the Falsies.
no, it's not called the Falsies. But
The break of Nexies, is that what-
yeah. But I mean, not every crew member has
called
an
the-
Oscar,
I
but the
don't know.
stunts guys are acting. They're doing major stuff
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
performed in camera, and it is weird. There's no stunts category at the Oscars.
Like I was rewatching for some reason
There's
they
an
keep
art to
replaying Die Hard over and
Yeah.
over again, and there's all these moments where you can see that it's a stunt.
They were big on that in
double
the 80s. You
on,
could see stunt doubles a lot.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. It was like
Beverly Hills Cop has some of the
I was
most
like, "Where's Bruce
egregious-
Willis?" You know,
There's a scene in Beverly Hills Cop where he flips this guy over this table in this big banquet kind of thing in this fancy club.
Yeah.
And it literally looks like, yo, why is Jim Brown fucking stunt doubling for Eddie Murphy? This guy is like jacked, like 4 times the size of Eddie Murphy.
It's like-
thick ass head, big ass mustache. It's like,
it's like
that's not
I'm
Eddie
gonna
Murphy.
get you, sucker.
Yes,
Do you ever
it's
see
like
I'm gonna get you, sucker? It's like this lady, this woman in a dress, and then it like cuts to her fighting some
Yeah.
dude, and it's like this guy, this
Yeah.
man, totally different clothes, big afro, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
It's like
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
He's the stunt
You
double.
idiots! These aren't them. These are the stunt doubles.
So this is relevant because Tom Cruise
Because Tom
basically
Cruise does his own stunts.
all his stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're gonna have to take a break on this episode because we're so fucking. There's so much to go over.
There is
and
a lot to talk
we're
about.
trying to just do like cursory things through some of these films, and that's just not doing it justice. We have a lot more to go. We're like not even halfway through.
Yeah.
So we're gonna split it up. This
We
will
have to be close
part
to
one.
halfway.
Part 1.
Yeah, this will be part 1, and we'll do chapter 2, part 2 next week. It's gonna be Tom Cruise month.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Cruise
I'm
month.
excited.
Cruise month.
Boom. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Thank you for being a friend.
Why wouldn't you do a like Tom Cruise film?
Travel down the road and back again.
Coming in next, Get to the Podcast. We'll be talking about.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.